we're gonna not have a podcast today because Butch was breathing too hard, so he just said, "Fuck, I can't do it today."
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of History for Fools. I am William Cutting. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just regular Butch Escobar.
And I am ex-cholo that's now a pastor at a church. You been hit up by cholos, bro, who are Christian?
Yes, bro. I love it. I love their enthusiasm. It's like, man, where was that when you were fucking shooting up somebody's house?
Yeah, man.
Where was this love for? I was just watching this guy last night. This guy started a notorious biker gang, and he went through all the people he killed and all the bad things. See, this is the thing these guys do. This is where I knew, like, where I feel like they're full of shit.
Who?
The Christian ex-gang member.
Oh, yes,
thing.
yes.
Because they'll.
You're talking about the cholos that used to, they're Christians and they're on YouTube talking about their war crimes?
Or like the Victory Outreach guys, like the guys that would show us Duke of Earl, and they would come up and be like, I did this, I fucking brutally stabbed this guy, I fucking raped this guy, and this one time we had this fucking war, and I fucking killed hella guys, but now I'm in love with Jesus. And it's like they just glorified everything, and then it's like, then let's get to Jesus, and I feel bad about what I did, but I forgive it. It's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like you're kind of just bragging, and then at the end going like,
Have you ever performed at a show for Victory Outreach or Praise Chapel, or they're all Christians?
No.
I did.
Have you?
Yeah, bro. If they all talk about their past, like they want to talk about what they like in between the mass. I got there early, so I was there for the church part too.
Right.
And then people were getting up and they're saying, they were devotion. Like, I just want to thank the Lord for this. And, all right, man, first of all, if you're a Christian, more power to you, man.
Yeah,
I'm just
totally.
describing a situation where I was.
Yeah.
And,
This is not to offend anyone.
where it was really bad for me because I was there to pick up some money to do a quick 30-minute clean show
Right.
among these ex-gang members over there in the Victory Outreach over there in Redondo Beach. And, bro, it was like an actual church, dude. They had, it was a New Year's Eve party for them.
Right.
They had food, they had a bunch of food. People were singing Christian songs. And it was a good time, bro. We were eating. There was carne asada. It was good food, dog.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
I got there annihilated, bro. So I was like eating a lot, bro. Like stuffing myself.
Yeah.
And like
big time munchies.
they eat more, brother. Of course, brother. Yes, brother. Eat more, brother.
Yeah.
And it was cool, bro. Then the mass started, right? It was like a mass. And then people were like, oh, I'm just so thankful for last year. I was eating in trash cans. I was a heroin addict.
Wow.
Or some woman will get up. Oh, and then like this guy will get up and goes, I was fixing in prison, man. And this is the first Christmas I've been out in 20 years. I've been out before, but I never made it through Christmas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because these crazy cholos get locked up. So everybody's sad, and I'm like, I'm praying too, dog, right there. Yeah. I'm praying that the pastor who doesn't know who the hell I am doesn't say stuff like, we have a new member today.
Right.
And I'll be like, no, sir, I'm here to do a comedy show right after all these thankfulness.
Right, yeah. After this moment
of
silence.
And then this woman got up and said, I'm so thankful that my mom is here today, man, and she gets to spend time with her grandkids for the first time on a Christmas because my mom was always gone, man, and she was on PCP, she was on crack, and she was selling her body right there on Vermont, and she's here today. Look, she's happy, and she's 6 months sober. We're just thankful. She starts crying, dog. And everybody's whatever, right? Then it's my turn to do comedy. He goes, wow, man, This is a party, man. We ate. Everybody shared their feelings, and then it turned into a roast for that lady, huh? Like everybody else was talking about how they got into heroin, how they were not there for their kids, but that lady didn't get up. Her kids got up, and they were like, "Oh man, my mom." My mom was never there. I mean, she was there for other men, but not for us.
Oh my God.
Bro, that lady was dying, dog.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, man. I hate to be in that car on the way home.
Right.
You guys just took me there to talk bad about me. I'm never going to forget this Christmas. I feel like using.
Yeah.
But we know you're not going to use tonight, you know.
That's crazy.
Bro, that lady was wearing what I'm wearing right now, bro.
Straight
She
up.
was wearing like tennis shoes that were suede, because that's the gangster look in Southern California, Northern California. She was wearing oversized sweats like me,
Right.
and then she was wearing the oversized matching sweatshirt to go. So she's ready to go to prison, bro.
She's ready to go get her property back.
She's ready to do some burpees and put her own handcuffs on.
You never know when you're gonna get picked up. I mean, I've been there, man. Just like cop rolls up next to you, and it's like, so you wear the most comfortable gear you can.
They give me my money. It's not a lot of money, but it was a lot of money back then for me. Okay, enough to go out there and have a great time with your friends on New Year's Eve.
Hell yeah, bro.
So I left that gig at 11. I kept looking at the clock. Oh,
This
man.
is a New Year's Eve gig.
New Year's Eve gig. I kept looking at my clock. Oh, my God. You know, drinking time is coming. It's ending already, man.
Right.
I was supposed to get loaded before the New Year's Day.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be sober New Year's Day.
Nobody's loaded at this party.
Nobody, bro. I'm the only one that wants to get fucked up.
There's nobody with like a little bottle, like a little pistol underneath the table.
Bro, only this other pastor who tried to sell me bootleg cologne at the end of the show. Like, he had the fake cologne, bro. Like, instead of Dracar Noir, it was No I Dracalar.
It's like Raven Horta selling.
Bro, there was
selling his
bad
sauce.
cologne. Like, instead of Polo, it was Cholo. It was a guy on a round fly with a knife instead of a guy with a little stick. Instead of cool water, it was LA River water. It was just a bootleg cologne.
Right,
bro.
yeah, I love those, man.
Yeah, they were. You seen them? $10 for a bottle, bro.
I've never done a show like that. I've never.
Dude. So I'm thinking, bro. I'm like, so man, what are you gonna do right now, man? Oh man, I got my friend's gonna come pick me up right now, and then we're gonna go hang out and Bible study.
Right,
Lying to that, dog.
right.
We're gonna hang out together, man. You know, real mellow in the house, and maybe watch some Christmas movies and just think about what kind of year we had and plan out what we're gonna do next year, man.
Right.
Lying, dog. Lying.
Yeah.
I'm already starting out the year bad, dog.
You're gonna go do something debaucherous.
So, bro, but the whole time I'm thinking about, I'm going to my loft. There's some drugs next door, and every person in my hallway had their door open that night.
Right.
And the club downstairs was letting me go down the elevator and get into the club without going through the front and standing in line. But I'm gonna go in like I just need a top hat that night, bro.
That's coming in style, dog.
I just need a top hat that night.
Right.
So fuck, dog. So this fool says, "Here, what's your phone? Your friend's number? I'll call him and tell him we're gonna take you home." I had all these chances to be good, bro. I mean, every chance to do good that night was laid out before me, except we're gonna sleep with you tonight just to make sure.
We're gonna pin you down.
So I had to drive with these ex-cons, ex-heroin addicts, bro.
And so these people also know what's up too.
Like, I don't know they knew what's up.
But it's not like they haven't been around the block a few
You
times.
think they knew what's up?
Bro, dog.
But anyway, so they gave me a ride all the way to downtown LA, bro, where I lived.
Yeah.
From Hawthorne, bro.
How far is that?
Bro, it's past the airport.
Fuck.
You know how that traffic is.
It's like a good hour and a half at least.
Yeah, bro, and then we just sit there talking, dog, and like the whole time I'm like bad, dog. I'm just thinking, man, They better save me a bump. Something.
This is in text message days where you can text ahead and be like, "You fucking asshole,
Yeah.
better save me some."
Yeah, I was like being bad, and I was like, bro, what's up? You want to go get you? This guy named Joe Barone is gonna come get me from Inglewood, and I said, no, man, I'm gonna get a ride with the brothers here, man, from the church. They're gonna take me all the way home, bro, and took me into bed, bro, and buy me a coffee, I guess.
Stand outside my door.
I got out of the car, bro, and that fool got out of the car too, bro.
Yeah.
They said a little prayer outside the car, bro.
Hell yes.
While people were passing by all low there,
Yes.
talking shit.
Yes.
There's a line to the club.
Yes.
I go in, bro, and I just go nuts, dog. Like none of that worked.
None of it worked.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's that the spirit, it was willing, bro, but the flesh was weak.
The flesh is weak.
Yeah, once you have your heart made out to do something, you're gonna do it, right?
Right.
That's why I never had the heart to be like in a organized club, or organized gang, or do anything with a bunch of groups. Right. I'm like Woody Allen, How good is the club if you want me in it?
Exactly. My thing is this, man. When I was a kid, they would come around.
A bus?
And, no, the people like
the Christians.
Yes, and here's the thing. I don't mean to insult anybody. This is just the group in my area where I was growing up, and it was like they'd come with this projector and Duke of Earl, and then they'd have like three guys cholos tell us what their lives was like before, and then they would play them, and then they would talk about Jesus, and they'd play the movie. And what they talk about before and the movie only made me go, damn, I want to join a gang. Like, fuck, man. Like, that looks fucking fun.
Bro, I had homies listening to that. I'm gonna listening to that and then looking at me goes, I'm not gonna be like that stupid homie. I'm not gonna get caught.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it did. Like, it didn't do anything for me. It never made me be like, man, that looks like that's gonna suck.
I remember the police showing up to our house, to our school,
right,
and showing up what kind of drugs they have out there.
I was just gonna.
Why were you telling us for,
bro?
Now I know what to look out. What does what? I felt like the cop was showing us go buy drugs.
Bro, they brought these three drug addicts into our class, and they talked about getting high.
Your uncle, huh?
First, no, two.
Everybody clap,
bro. But they all talked about smoking weed first, because you know how they were trying to
always
convince you that weed. All I wanted to do was smoke weed and take heroin after that. That's all I wanted to do.
Nobody ever said I was eating candy, and then I smoked a joint.
Right, exactly. Exactly, dude. So I just was like, I don't know what these fucking programs are meant to do.
Or the weed story was always bad. It starts off with a bad story already. Oh, like in the 80s, they're trying to turn out to do drugs. They're talking like this. It was usually like a grown man with somebody like Martin Rizzo, and they give him a joint, and a guy put in a porno, dog.
Right. Some shit like that.
So if you smoke a joint, a man gonna grab your penis.
I feel like maybe it's not the joint. Maybe it's the man with the penis that's doing all the damage to you.
Yeah.
The joint by itself would have been cool.
Weed had never made me go out there on a car and go drive all mad.
Right. Weed has never made me do anything except...
Weed has done this to me, man.
Weed doesn't do anything
Weed
bad.
has made me go out there to look for my car and realize I didn't drive there.
You know what, bro? I forgot where I parked my car this morning at your house. And I was like, oh shit, where's my car? I looked outside, like right when you told me to move my car, I looked outside, I thought someone stole my car. I was standing next to my car looking out in front of the house going, I think they towed my car or someone stole it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I parked right here. That's what weed does. That's what weed does.
Let's get back to your hat.
Yes, let's talk about that.
You back then, like you have the top hat, but there was bigger, longer hats because Abe Lincoln's hat was big. That's more gangster right there, the one you have on, right?
Yeah, this is like probably like the more taller ones were the fancier ones. I think it was the taller, the more like...
Yeah.
like the more like you bourgeois or whatever, I don't know, fancy you were.
It's funny. Once that style of hats went out of business, they stopped being a style. They gave them to the ladies in Peru.
Yeah.
Philip, look at that
But
picture.
they're like little derbies, and they're cute. And I don't understand the significance of those for them.
Oh, I know the history of those hats.
Do you?
Those derby hats
Yeah.
that those Inca, Peruvian women wear. You see that picture, Philip? Those hats were brought in to for the men,
Okay.
but the men never wore them.
Okay.
So they all these hats left over, so they just give them away, and the women started wearing them.
Okay. So that's like it's just like a decoration then.
Yeah, they were trying to like make them more like how they colonize you,
Right.
and they try to make you like be like a regular person, like in their eyes.
Yeah.
And you start wearing hats.
Yes.
But the men never wore them.
Right.
The woman wore them and wore them like that, like a design. So now they all wear them, and they wear them when they wrestle too.
When they wrestle.
Yeah, the women in Peru, the ones you see wearing those hats and knitting and blowing those whistles, who live where they're in Machu Picchu.
Those
And,
little cute women.
yeah, and they wear those big dresses like that comedian from Mexico. Hey, come on. The India Maria. You see the India Maria right there? Those big dresses. Well, in that part of in that area in Oaxaca, they wrestle in those dresses.
Okay.
It's a real thing. Like these women wrestle in their garb. People from all over the country,
Like
hipsters,
compete.
they go watch it.
They compete.
They wrestle like regular wrestlers
Oh, okay. All right.
in their dress, right, Philip? A little crazy, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So my question about the hat now is, and guys in New York, a lot of gangsters, even a police officer, they put their money in their hat, and it was because back then pants didn't have pockets either, right?
Right.
Pants didn't have pockets.
Right.
There were no jacket
Yeah,
pockets
You put your stuff
on your hat.
in your hat, and then you go like this.
How to give it, show us, bro.
And then that's why it's
And then you pick
tipped
up your
over.
stuff. You go like
That's why
this.
it's tipped forward, because it's all fucking sitting right here, and it's like, let's see, let's try this.
So that's why disrespecting your not what someone had is a disrespect because you're knocking down everything they have, huh?
Like, I don't think this one's gonna fit.
Now give the movie a thumbs up, bro. Like in living color.
I don't have anything to put it in, but yeah, you would put your money and
So you tip
maybe
a
pistol.
so you tip a man's hat over, you're disrespecting him.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, even now.
Because if you you have your money there, man.
Right.
You have your belongings, so you tip it over.
Right.
You're looking for a rob him.
Right.
Don't tip his hat
Yeah,
over.
that's where. So, and then you don't take your hat off, like like that's. I think maybe that was something they were like, I don't have anything.
I know, man. That was very hard for men that always were the gentlemen, who tipped their hat to ladies.
Right.
Because I remember one of my uncles, my great uncles, he got a toupee, bro.
Right.
But he's used to wearing hats and tipping his hat. So it took him a while to get used to having a toupee because he'll see a lady, he'll take a toupee off. And then he put it back on.
Did that really happen, Felipe? like this is one of those stories that you tell me, because you have because this is one of those.
It's a
things
story like telling.
Hey, bro, this is like, we should have a game where is it like Felipe tells a story and you gotta go, is this a joke or is this real? Because there's stories where you've told me this and I go, you're joking, right? You're like, no, I have a family member who does this. And so, like, this is in that realm of like, I don't know if you're telling me this.
No, I did have an uncle with a really, really bad toupee, but he never did that. But this motherfucker did things worse, bro. His hair on the side will start graying, and he'll dye everything, even the toupee, bro.
Oh my God,
The
bro.
toupee was already black.
I can't go with it. I'm balding, but I'm never gonna go with a toupee. I'll wear a top hat before I wear a toupee.
Bolivian people, the people from the Inca were Bolivian.
Bolivian.
And you were going to retract something about the biker gang.
Okay, let's start. So we're
Because
gonna.
right now there's emails saying you're wrong.
Bro, people are probably freaking out right now. Here's the thing, man. I was put on the spot yesterday because when I was younger, I read a lot of stuff on bikers and I hung out with a lot of motorcycle clubs. And I also just want to be very clear.
And you were talking about prison gangs too. So I have a question about prison gangs and bikers after you're done.
Okay. Just want to be clear. These are motorcycle clubs. Everybody we're talking about is in
These are
motorcycle
one
clubs.
percenters.
They're one percenters. I do know a lot of these people. I do know people from almost all the organizations we're talking about. All those people are good people. Motorcycle club people will tell you we're just a motorcycle club. But there are people within these groups that are not very good. But
somebody's riding right now.
yeah.
This guy is over 6 feet tall, 260 pounds,
Yes.
a big beard, bald,
Right.
and he knows bikers.
Right.
Why am I not surprised?
Why am I not surprised?
But be
Right.
sarcastic about it.
I gotta go drink with these people in December at some point, and they're gonna be like, "Hey man, we are
Hey, man.
listening to the podcast because
Hey, man.
they are listening to the podcast." So let me retract
Give it to us, bro.
the Hell's Angel stuff first. Philip was right. They did start out in
Montana?
Montana. Philip, help me out. I'm trying to open up my thing here. Where did there we go. Here we go.
Give it up for Philip. Cheat Storian.
Sorry, not Montana.
The Cheat Storian.
The Cheat Storian, Fontana, California, in 1948.
It was Fontana, not Montana.
Not Montana.
Fontana,
California.
Like, and people like Rodrigo Choi, they like to call it Fontucket.
So what I was referring to yesterday was I thought we were talking about, because there's a period. So this gang that was started in 1948. Sorry, this motorcycle club that was started in 1948. This is gonna be a difficult podcast. That was started in 1948. Was started by some German dude named Otto Friedli, and these were the original ex-pilots who were the Hells Angels while they were flying, came home, rode motorcycles. Motorcycles
So
were
these guys
new.
were actually pilots. They were actually in planes, and they were mechanics and all that.
Yes. So
They had skills.
most of them were pilots. Some of them were mechanics. Everybody who worked around aeronautics came home and started.
Do you think these pilots, all these people who came in like from World War II, and later on in the future, right, more wars, but these first set of bikers who were starting out bikers and being starting a counterculture that was never seen in America before. You think it was because they have a lot of adrenaline that just came from the army and shell shocked that they and a brotherhood or something? And because I know when we go hang out at all week with each other and then we go camping, there's a brotherhood,
Right,
and then
right.
Then you miss all that.
You miss
and
all
and
that,
like
yeah.
when you leave summer camp.
It's exactly
So that's what they felt.
In
huh?
a
They
lot of
wanted
ways.
They wanted like camaraderie.
In a lot of ways, man, I feel like
somebody watching my back.
I feel like it's totally the same in a lot of ways because, first of all, what we do may not seem like a big deal to us, but because we do it every night. But what we do is one of the most scariest things people could possibly do in their minds. And we do it all the time, and we're out there together, and we're rolling together. Because I have the same thing where I'm out, I'm like near the end of the week, I'm like, I can't wait to get home, especially these long runs in a row. And then as soon as I'm home, I'm like, fuck, when am I gonna get out on the road again? You know, I can't wait to see you guys. And as soon as we all see each other, we hug and we're like, what's up?
What's up?
So I feel.
Where's my itinerary, Shelly?
I feel like I feel like these guys are going through somewhat the same thing,
But
on a much
way larger, sleeping with each other,
bro. They're sleeping, eating,
shooting each other,
they're
saving each other's lives.
saving each other's lives. They're going through life and death situations.
A parade for these guys.
So I have a friend who skydives. She's a skydiving teacher.
Oh, I thought it was a porn star.
And so no, no, I have one of those too, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. But
She nosedives.
But she skydives for a living out in San Diego. And one time she was traveling through here. I go, did you stop by Magic Mountain? She goes, yeah. I'm, how was it? She goes, it's so boring. And I was like, wow, really? And she's like, well, I mean, we jump out of planes, and I didn't realize this when we went. Everything's muted after that. You know, so when you're constantly for like 3, and then these guys weren't doing 1-year tours back then. If you went to war for like 2 or 3 years, you know, and like if you wanted to, like you could like never come home.
World War II was 2 years.
However long it was.
Oh, I don't know the tours. How long the tours were?
You know, they were like, you know, like I remember watching Fury. It's a tank movie, but those guys were in that tank from the beginning, from like Africa all the way to the end of the campaign. So I think that's how people fought wars back then. So you can
Fuck.
imagine these guys come home, war's over, and they're looking for thrills, shits, and giggles.
Bro. Crazy how war, huh?
Create wars. I
So
mean,
you saw that movie, huh?
which one?
No, I saw one about a movie about the Germans against the Russians in the snow, and there was a sniper.
Oh, Once Upon a Midnight Clear or something like that.
I don't know the name of the movie.
That's a great movie.
But the Russians were nuts when they're
Yeah.
fighting the Germans. They would have like 3 people. One guy, huh? And he met the gates.
Oh, that's a
But
great
there's
movie.
another one, same thing.
Yeah.
The Russians, when they were fighting the Germans in that fucking hardcore snow,
Right.
there was 3 soldiers, bro. One soldier had a gun. The other one had the extra cartridge. The other one behind him had nothing.
Wow.
So when that dude dies, that dude with the cartridge picks up that gun, and the other guy picks up that gun, and another guy follows them.
Right. They were.
Why waste so many guns?
So my grandfather was in World War II at the end. He was like from the beginning, from beginning to end too, and he tells a story about when the war's over. They know they're all going home, and they go right over that fence is a Russian camp. Nobody go over there. Nobody fuck with those guys. It doesn't matter if the war's over. Those are orders. I mean, of course, they don't listen. As soon as the chiefs leave, they go over to these Russians, and he goes, they had one gun between 2 guys, no jackets, like nothing. They were all huddled around a fire, so we gave them our jackets, we gave them our cigarettes, we hung out with them for a while and went back. They had nothing, man. These guys, like that's the thing is back then, war isn't like it is now, where everybody has we complain about these, and they should have vests. Don't get me wrong.
War, and they're like now, man. Like you got
Yeah.
people out there gangbanging in the army and shit.
Right. Yeah, that's just crazy. But anyway, so getting back to these guys, so they banded together. This is like Days of Booze Fighters, the flying tigers, and the pissed off bastards. And
Those are
whiskey
weird
shooters.
names, pissed off
They're
bastards.
and these are our grandfathers making names, right? So so that's the story of Hollister.
Who's
where
this guy?
It
Those
gets
are
taken over. So
the wife cheaters from Modesto.
you know that movie about where they take over Hollister with Marlon Brando, and all that shit happened?
Were they all?
It's all bullshit.
Were they all that good looking?
No, they weren't that good looking. They probably dressed like that though, which is crazy.
But they were dirty hands, right? Oily and shit.
Oh, bro, they didn't look as clean. Their hats were dirty. Their pants were covered in oil, and their hands were dirty because they're just constantly working on stuff. And this is still a time where bathing doesn't happen every day.
They had that biker, bro, Marlon Brando in that movie. So you guys are rebels? Yeah. What do you got rebelling against? What do you got?
Is that where that comes from?
What do you got? The wild ones.
The Wild Ones. So yeah, that movie is essentially bullshit. That did actually happen. That took place.
Did they really take over that town just like that?
They
Or
tried to
or they
take over
punked
that town,
sheriff?
but the cops came. The National Guard came out pretty quick, and
How many bikers were there, dude?
it was just one. It was actually one group.
But how many in numbers?
Probably, I think there was about 30 or 40 of them, maybe 50. There wasn't many.
That's still a lot
They
for a
made
town
it-
that never seen them.
Right. They made it seem like a lot, and it wasn't. There was a bit of a skirmish, and there was a little bit of
Did
push
they take
back
all
and
the
forth.
chicks?
But dude, this is the time when cops rule everything. And they have guns, and they could shoot you for running from them. So I'm
They
pretty
never
sure.
seen shit like this. A bunch of veterans showing
No,
up who
bro,
are
that's-
actual killers.
So that's when things start to get crazy. But right away, this gets eradicated. And
But there was bad press on that with what happened, right? It went
Right.
everywhere,
And
and
it-
it leave a bad taste for anybody that had a motorcycle.
right. So imagine now. Okay, you read Under and Alone, which is Bill Queen's book. He talks about pulling into a sundown town, and these fucking sheriff pull up next to him. One who's hanging out the window with a shotgun pointed at him, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of our town." This is happening in the I think the late '80s. Okay, so you imagine this bad press that these bikers get goes all over the country about how they take over a town, and the fucking National Guard has to chase them out. No one's letting these motherfuckers into any towns. So biking, motorcycle gangs kind of gets pushed down and suppressed to the point they can't do real much. And these guys get older and they move on or whatever, and motorcycle clubs kind of go to the waysides. These patches disappear, and this is where the confusion begins.
But where did the 1% come from?
I'll tell you right now. So after Vietnam, guys start to come back home. Again, pushed for adrenaline, like been fighting. Like Vietnam was crazy intense fighting for a war. Like it was more battle than most wars have ever had in modern times. So they come home and
More battle than the Chateaubriand.
so a lot of them will go to stores and they start forming motorcycle clubs again. And this is when Harleys are
come
popular
people-
and Nortons are
I
popular.
have a question, man. How come people come out of the come back? What? People come back from World War II, and become bikers, bro. How come it's never the other way around, bro? Where they come out of Vietnam and the Gulf War become cholos, eh?
Because you sit around and hang out as a cholo.
Too much,
Like
huh?
90% of your time as a cholo is chilling, and 10% is jumping your homies, and like maybe another percent is like getting in fights with other guys.
So the 1% comes from that what happened in Hollister or in the 60s?
No, this is more the 60s because bikers are
But the
starting to
1%ers.
yeah, so
But
bikers
like-
are starting to get a reputation for being bad
I
guys again.
thought 1% came after that Boost Fighter fight when it was like a mass media
No,
all over
because
America,
because-
and then the American Motorcycle Association said, "Listen, man, that they don't represent all bikers in America. These are just the 1% that
I
are
don't
real
think
bad."
that was then.
Because I read that somewhere.
it might.
Huh?
It
Yeah,
says that.
it
It,
is,
does.
yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna, maybe you read that too. I want to
Okay.
make sure
So I
I'm
thought
right.
It was, okay. So I thought it was.
So
During,
those started when? And
Okay,
yeah,
so
so
that's
that
when it
1%, that's the
happened.
1%. So after that, I know that that it became like people knew right away, like, are you gonna be a biker? Or are you gonna be like the American Association? So I guess
Well, what happened-
the hardcore motherfuckers like the Hells Angels,
So
they started putting 1%,
my
right?
timing was confused because I thought it was around the 60s because Honda jumped on that again years later and was saying, and what the AMA statement actually was is that 99% of motorcycle enthusiasts are good people.
Yeah, and the other 1% are
And these
bad.
guys, but they didn't say that at all. They just said 99% are the good people. These bikers were like, okay, fuck you, we're the 1%ers then. We're happy to be 1%. And that's where you get the filthy few and all these other nicknames for 1%ers as well.
The Chosen Few.
Chosen Few was a biker club.
Have you ever seen a documentary? It was on HBO, and you guys can look it up on YouTube if you want. It's an all Puerto Rican motorcycle club, and they're called the Chinga Links.
The Chingalings. What? Okay.
Like chinga, like chingazos,
Right.
and links, like the Chinese name. And their thing was called the Chinga Links. And Lisa always mentions it, so huh? The Chingaling Nomads. They were out of what part of the Bronx? One everyways. Go look that up, bro.
Chingaling Nomads. MC is one of the percenter motorcycle club founded in the Bronx, New York in 1966.
Bronx, New York, baby.
Dude, I should have my fucking tablet with me more often.
So that's what happens, bro. And when it came out, cause when the thing in Hollister started, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure those guys were attacking chicks.
Right.
So they must have known that all those chicks are loose from
the
that area.
Chingaling- Here's the Chingaling.
So that's where that song
flag
comes
right
out.
here.
I ain't no Hollister girl, huh?
No, that's I ain't no holler back girl.
I know.
but-
Because all those chicks were sluts in that town after those bikers.
I don't
So
think
thought-
there's any reports of rape or sexual.
But I remember reading, bro, like the media would lie, dog. Like if somebody was like date rape on a date,
Right.
and that fool come from well means and money,
Right.
they'll pay the chick to stay with those bikers that were in town.
Yes. So there was a mass media, and I know that motorcycle clubs died for a while. Then after Vietnam, they came back, and this is where the confusion for how the Hells Angels started. Because, and what I imagine happened. This is what other people skepticized.
So it was Fontana, Burbank, San Bernardino, right?
There was 3 patches that popped up at the same time. 3 patch gangs that had the same death head, but they were smaller. Smaller.
Is the death head? Is that from an actual medal in the army back then?
It's the symbol on the side of the planes,
On a similar plane,
Yeah.
the death head. Because
and it was smaller on all of them.
what is that brand of shoes that looks similar to that? Red Wings.
Red Wings. Yes.
That's different.
That's totally different.
Different logo.
Different logo. So so when it first started, all of them had the smaller one. And I read Sonny Barger's book, The Life and Times of Sonny Barger. And he explains that he didn't like how small they were. So when he became the overall president, he made the patch larger, and it was and the patch you see is called the Barger Larger. And that's the death head that you see now, and that's copyrighted. Now, if you grab the death head and decide to put it on your back, just fucking around, those motherfuckers will pull you aside and be like, "We're taking that patch," and they're allowed by law.
I think I saw a TikTok video where somebody wearing that on their motorcycle.
Yes, yeah.
And that guy said he had bought it somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, and they'll rip it right off your back, and they say you can't have it. So
But that was a problem, right? When Sonny Barger did that movie, because a lot of people were popping up with that logo.
after that happened.
And more biker, and then like anything else, bro, that movie helped start a lot of motorcycle gangs. Just the way the Warriors started a bunch of gangs in New York, and Boulevard Nights, Colors. These movies help make gangs instead of preventing gangs, don't they? In your opinion, Peggy Hill?
Every one of them. Even when they're like, "Oh, this is made to like Boys in the Hood was made to keep people from fucking joining gangs." I was like, man, I was like a kid watching that going, I wish I was a black kid.
Bro, I haven't been to Crenshaw since that movie, bro.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I don't think they help. And like, you know, if you look at when Sons of Anarchy came out, all of a sudden, all these little motorcycle clubs started popping up everywhere.
Also, man, there's a band called Black Label Society, and they perform everywhere, right? And you could look up their if you could put up their jacket up there, it kind of looks like a biker jacket because they have Black Label Society, and then the bottom rocker, people always put their town. Like if you're a fan of Black Label Society in Los Angeles, they put Los Angeles. If you're a fan of Black Label Society in Ontario, Quebec, you put Ontario, Quebec. Well, anyways, these fools put out a moratorium, a press bulletin that they were going to perform in Copenhagen. And they said, if you have Black Label Society, Copenhagen at the bottom, don't worry, mate. They told all their band members because I think it's the Outlaws or somebody, and it's the same color as them, and they don't want to confuse.
Yes.
And they said no way to wear that because it'll be like to a lot of people who don't know Black Label Society, it'll look like they're starting a new biker gang, and they don't want to see like hundreds of thousands of people wearing Black Label Society Copenhagen.
That makes
right?
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
If somebody has the same colors as the Hells Angels, you shouldn't be rocking it, right? If you know better.
Right.
Yeah, now look for Black Label Society.
And then we'll go to Black Label Society.
They're the leader of that band, he used to play a guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, totally. I can see that.
See? Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Am I lying?
I can see that. It's very similar, yeah.
And then on the bottom, they always put their city. Dude, that's for rock stars.
So look at this one. That one.
Yeah.
And that one look almost the same.
And they told them not to wear that one, bro, at the show.
So that's interesting.
That was very nice of Black Label Society lead singer.
Good job, dude.
Can I say something about the Black Label Society guy real quick?
Yeah, go for it, man.
I was doing press in Tucson, Arizona, or Phoenix, Arizona for my radio show. And Black Label Society was performing that night at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, the one that turns like this.
Right.
And they were going to sold out show. They were promoting the show. This dude was wearing leather pants like a biker.
Right.
He was wearing the leather jacket like that and everything, promoting his brand. But he was loaded, bro, loaded. And that motherfucker had a cold sore and everything, bro. You know what he did too. And he was fucking loaded, dog.
Right.
He smelled like leather and whiskey, dog. Right? If he was a biker, it would have smelled like oil too. But him and I were chilling, and I was stoned, bro, because I waked him big before they picked me up. And we're both staring out at the wilderness. And this fool looks over at me and goes, "Hey, man, Wouldn't that be killer if we were standing right here when those two planes went into the building? We just watched it all.
Oh shit! Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it be fucking rad, bro?
Fucking rad that we would have. But then I was like, I was all stoned
Nah.
like this. I'm gonna get a coffee right now.
Yeah, I gotta go, bro.
Like what I could have say.
Yeah, what else can you say?
So let's get back. Yeah.
And they have the name and date.
Do they have sergeant at arms? If you're a sergeant, or that's
They have,
private?
like, sometimes they'll have a military stripe of sergeant at arms, or sometimes they'll just say sergeant at arms. And then it'll have the city, or it'll say your city. So the MFM lets you know your allegiance, but there's also another one that kind of lets you know that you can get drugs, and that's DFFL. That's dope forever, forever loaded. Is what that stands for. So if you see a guy with DFFL on his rocker, he could probably get you drugs.
You can't be wearing also like the merchandise that the bikers have, like if they have a belt with an 81, or they have a belt that's orange and red. You know
Yeah.
the bandito colors. People are not allowed to wear those belts, right? If they belong to the club.
The club. So
You
have to
can't be
have-
sporting that
so
belt,
I remember when I used to kick it with some 81 guys. You could only get shit that said supporter, unless you were a member. Then you had something that said Hell's Angels on it, or the club with nothing else. But I always felt like the insignia supporter had to be underneath it if you weren't a club member. And I never teased it. I never played with it. And I never saw anybody else do it because the groups I hung in just didn't have those people around. So I never saw anybody say, hey, you can't have that belt. But I'm pretty sure, bro, if you're wearing a Death Head belt and you're not a fucking Hell's Angels, 3 guys will come up to you and say, give us your fucking belt.
When I was, when I was doing a show in Kelowna, in Canada, Kelowna, I was hanging around with these old men, and we're sitting at a table having dinner, because I was at the far end of Russell Peters' table, pretty much the no man land over there. So every time the appetizers were dropped over there, by the time they got to my table, they were gone.
Right.
It was pretty much how Los Angeles County works. Everybody, the rich, get all their stuff, and by the time they get to the projects, you gotta fight for an orange juice, an expired orange juice. And,
have you ever seen that movie Platform?
Never.
Oh,
I gotta.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out with these older gentlemen, and they all look like the lead singers of the Grateful Dead and Freebirds and Jethro Tull and the Three Dog Night guys. So we're just telling each other jokes, bro. Dirty jokes back to each other, dirty jokes, racist jokes. They told me racist jokes, bad jokes, good jokes for about an hour. He goes, let's take a photo. They said, I said, all right, let's take a photo. I handed my phone and I took a photo for me.
Right.
Bro, these 4 men, they were from the Hells Angels, Kelowna.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And they consider Russell Peters a supporter or a friend.
Right.
And so they were there hanging out on the side, even though they were quiet.
Right.
But
yeah.
they know Russell Peters knows who they are.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's usually how it goes.
And they were nice
Yeah,
guys,
very nice
dog.
guys. Just great guys.
Dude, a lot of people say like, oh, these guys are the bad. Bro, I've never hung out. They didn't throw nothing at me. They didn't throw no colors. They didn't ask anything.
Nah, they're not.
They were not suspicious of me like Birdman is everywhere he goes.
Right.
Like wondering how come they don't swear his giant hat.
Yeah, no, because they don't care.
Dude, it was weird.
That's not the whole thing. Yeah.
They didn't even say where they were from till later on.
So
they had the. I noticed a ring, and I noticed a belt buckle, and the guy was actually wearing like a pullover that had their insignias in the back.
I have friends.
But as far as gentlemen, gentlemen, bro.
Gentlemen, I have friends that are in.
They might wear a top hat, bro, and a cane, bro.
Just because.
And a monocle.
I know a lot
I
of.
hung out with a lot of motherfuckers trying to be loud at the end of that table.
The people that are the gang members and all that stuff, I've never really met those guys, and I don't know how they are. But I know a lot of 81 dudes. I know a lot of other guys who are like Vagos and stuff like that. I don't know them as criminals. I know them as very nice, kind human beings. Again, I am sure there's criminals, and what we're referencing here is criminals. But dude, some of these guys are some of the warmest people you'll ever meet. They'll probably snap your neck if you fuck with them,
Like an alligator and a deer.
but they're like, oh my god! But these are very. A lot of these guys are very gentle, kind people, and if you're surrounded by them, you'll never feel in danger unless you fucking piss them off. Black heart patch means you're black-hearted, which means that you took a bullet for a brother. So if you see a guy with a black heart patch, then he took a bullet. This is a Mongols. This is in reference to Mongols. 8-Ball, because I feel like they have the most regalia. I felt like they had the most coolest regalia. 8-Ball, you served serious time in prison for the Mongol Brotherhood. That means like you went to prison and
took one for the team, basically.
You took one for the team. 13, if you have a 13, you attended the funeral of a fellow brother. 13 stands for chapter 13. If you have an S, you're running a business for the club. So if you see a guy with an S, he's probably doing something for the club, fixing tires or something. Mongols in memory of, we did those. Skull and crossbone patches. If you see the patch shows that they've taken out specific targets as a club member are a hit. So if you see a guy with a skull and crossbones, according to this forum, it means that he did a hit for the club. Damn,
How about
that's out there, bro.
How about the ones where like, when did they switch over from denim to leather?
You mean as far as vest goes?
Yeah.
That's a preference.
Because I know that in that book about the that undercover cop that went undercover.
Under Alone by Ben
A lot of them in that era were wearing they were wearing denim, and also Sonny Bargers and the people in their area, they were just, some of them had a regular the regular leather fucking vest
Right.
with the underfur in it.
It was
Remember the underfur in it?
yeah, I remember
Probably
the
depends
underfur.
where you at.
Right.
If it's cold, you're probably gonna have one with fur and the patch.
I have a couple buddies who ride for a club, and it's just really just a motorcycle club. It's called the Ghost Mountain Riders. Shout out to my boys out there in San Jose. I believe both of my friends that are in that club have a denim and a leather, so I think it's a preference thing. And I didn't read anything about one or the other, but I think it is a preference thing.
I follow a bunch of bikers on TikTok, and I follow the Native American guy. I don't know where he's from, but he used to be, I guess, a 1%er at one time somewhere. But now he rides with a bunch of native bikers.
Okay.
And they're all native, right? He has a long ponytail. And I think he's Puerto Rican or native. I don't know. But he always gives advice about being a biker. And then, bro, he had this cool one like this, bro. Because somebody asked him, when you're doing those 3-hour rides in the desert, how do you keep cool? Because it's so cold. And this fool said, you got to go inside a 7-Eleven and buy a little ice pack.
Okay.
And he put it in front of the motorcycle and wrapped it and put little holes in it.
Oh.
So when he's riding, the ice is melting and the water's going down, but it's also throwing cool air at him.
Right. That's brilliant. Oh my God. That's
He been giving good advice, this guy,
That's
bro.
really good advice.
I mean, I'm never going to ride a motorcycle, but if I ride a beach cruiser one day.
All right.
So,
let's go.
Where do you reference that forum from? Is it actually written in an article you read, or
Yes.
court affidavit?
So this is it's called Forum Motion, and it's all these different profiles on different gangs, and it's accumulated through government like surveillance and like just government data. And like news data and stuff like that.
When a white biker goes into prison, do they automatically gotta fall in line too, or do they have their own thing in prison?
They have to fall in line too.
They have to fall in line.
They don't have their own thing in there.
No.
Fuck no, dude.
Even though how humongous they are, some of these guys all over the world.
Yeah, I think
they gotta fall in line because it's different.
So
you're stepping into a different world, probably.
Sonny Barger references it in his book, and he talks about, and again, like. I don't know how truthful this is because history is written by the victors. So Sonny Barger at the end when he wrote this book was the end all be all say all of the Hells Angels at the time. So but what he says is that they were that okay, you went to prison, and if you were white, you joined up with the white dudes, and if you were Hispanic, you joined up with the Hispanic dudes. They didn't have any real black guys. They had Samoans and stuff. I think they had like one black dude. I can't remember in those early days. But you went, but your gang, but your motorcycle club was like number one. But I think when they went to prison, is they just chilled out. I don't think they weren't supposed to get into stuff or prison politics. So I think the sentiment was that they didn't do much in there. But again, I don't know if I believe that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know exactly, because when you're a gangster at heart. So I find it very difficult that if you're a white Hell's Angel and you go to prison and you join the fucking Aryan Brotherhood, that you're not going to enforce their prison politics over everything else. That if like if you're confronted by a black brother from or a Hispanic brother from, and he's there, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just find it hard that you're not going to do your gang oath at that moment. So that's a really good overall question.
What does it mean when a biker club has on the bottom nomad?
That means that that they don't have a home.
And how do you want to become a nomad if no one has a home?
You have to be voted into a nomad section of your club. So like,
but a nomad stays nomad forever, or once they get more members, they become a club.
No, a nomad. So the nomads aren't their own like group. So like, let's say I'm in the Hells Angels, and
I gotta be the Hells Angels.
And okay, let's say I'm in the Mongols.
Or how about the Outlaws? Or the
Vagos. It doesn't.
Or the Galloping Goose, or the Outlaws.
Okay, let's pick one that doesn't
or
exist.
Or los Comancheros.
No one clips me after the show. Let's say I'm.
You're gonna be from the Spiders, bro. From Every Which Way But Loose.
Let's say I'm in the Sons of Anarchy. Okay.
And you're riding around with tennis shoes.
And I want to ride around with white tennis
shoes.
Get
back with the tennis shoes, bro. In real life.
Bro, fuck no.
Like in real life, like people, you got a lot of people watch Sons of Anarchy, and they see the main guy riding with white tennis shoes. In real life, I've never been on a motorcycle, but I've been on a lot of bicycles.
Right.
And rocks hit my toes sometimes.
Right.
And I could imagine a rock hitting someone in a motorcycle at 75 miles an hour. Man, it's gonna hit a toe hard, bro.
It's gonna fucking smack. I used to ride, and I never rid without.
That's what that biker said, man. Toes. It goes, you gotta wear hardcore boots, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. They do those.
I wear a cape too, man.
Bro, rocks come hitting you in the face. Fuck your toes. Dude.
That's what that dude said too, man.
Sometimes
he wears a mask now.
Yeah, dude. Yes, I used to have like a.
Cause you got punched by that dude already.
I used to have that stupid helmet that they wear, and I got hit with a rock one time, and I was like, "Fuck this, bro."
How bad did it hurt, dude?
It hurt so bad, but I'll tell you what's worse: bees. When like
you eat them?
You ever drove through a swarm of bees in your car? Try driving through a swarm of bees with this fucking bee catcher sitting at the bottom of your face. Like I had to like pick them out.
Catching bees like a tuna net.
I was picking them out of my beard, and they were stinging my hands as I was picking them out of my beard. And so after that,
you gotta stop eating breakfast before you go out riding, bro.
It was a swarm, dog. It wasn't like they were catching up to me. And like, damn, is that honey on your lip, homie?
He was getting killed by the Killer Bees Motorcycle Club. So nomads, get back to nomads.
So if I want,
they're all their own thing. Do they have to who would a nomad respond to?
Okay, let's say I
the
joined
president or no president.
Let's say I joined the Felipes, okay?
Yes.
And I joined the Boyle Heights chapter of the Felipes. Now I'm gonna move. Sometimes it happens because I don't like my chapter and I don't have anywhere else to go. But sometimes I got to go between Anchorage and Reno, and I'm gonna move. And so I asked my current chapter of the Felipes, can you vote me into nomad status so I don't have to show up for meetings. I don't have to pay my dues to you. I don't have to be beholden to this chapter. If I'm in Anchorage, I'll go to the Anchorage meetings. If I'm in Reno, I'll go to the Reno meetings. But that nomad status allows you to go wander around, but you still have to pay your dues and you still have to show up for
whoever's
church.
In town, huh?
Yeah, wherever you're at in town. And church is slang for the meeting. So you show up for church, you got to pay your dues and you got to pay up. And that's the one thing is this is a very organized The federal government claimed that the Hells Angels and the Mongols were way more organized than the Italian mafia were. So that gives you an idea of how organized. I know that in Bill Queen's book, Under and Alone, they had to make up a whole identity for this guy because the Mongols had a private investigator that went and looked him up and did a background check on him to make sure that he was a real person. So that's how serious these motherfuckers are.
So when you're like just say you're initiating, and you're prospecting and all that, and it goes. I remember I had a joke. I said, "Yeah, man, I fucked a biker chick last night." Well, now I almost fucked her. She was a prospect.
That's a good one.
Anyway, so fuck. What was I talking about?
Biker chicks. But I was gonna say that. Oh, I also was gonna say, all my knowledge is from reading. I'm not pulling this knowledge from people who I hang out with because I know people who I hang out with are gonna be like, what are you talking about? Maybe I'm just saying this is stuff that I got from reading.
Yeah. So the person asked for nomad status,
Yeah.
and can it be like 100 nomads from the same area, but they all have to leave?
I think that's the thing is that I think that's why you have to get voted into nomad status. I can imagine. Again, not a lot of information is super accurate because this is a gang that we're getting information from. Their whole thing is to hide how they work. But
you watched Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
You saw the ending?
Yes.
Okay, remember that ugly that dude that had that big old beard? He's like the treasurer of the Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
And just towards the end, bro, but when they kill the main guy's dad, towards the end, this guy, I think he's having problems with the Sons of Anarchy River, right?
Yeah.
Sam Crow.
Right. Yeah.
Sam Crow, and he leaves the club, bro, and he starts driving around looking for nomads everywhere.
Oh, yes.
And that's when he gets Jacob Vargas, the Mexican Sons of Anarchy.
Right. Yeah.
He was a nomad.
Right.
Then he went over there to another
that
one.
Guy was nomad status.
Then he went another one. That's fine. He got like 7 nomads together.
Right.
To do something important for the club.
And I think that's what they're sanctioned for, is to do the outside work or to do stuff like that. Or we got a nomad up there that does this. But I also think they can afford only so many nomads. I think they can only afford so many nomads because you need people in your club paying up dues. You have rent due. You have a budget to meet. It's not just willy-nilly like a street gang where it's like, okay, we have collectively $50 because everybody paid their dues.
So getting back to what I found my chain of thought.
Oh, good.
It was the initiation,
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing a show in Texas.
Yes.
There was a guy over there trying to join a big Texas motorcycle club, right?
Right.
And he already went through everything, and
oh God.
And if they keep him, he went to prison, got out, he's doing a club already, Mexican dude. He said that do they keep your bicycle if you make it or not?
Yes.
Okay, so he already knew that, right, going in. So he said that it was his little brother, 2 other fools with Harleys, and an old ass white dude that wanted to be part of the club.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were all like in the mountains, in Texas, with their motorcycles.
Yeah.
I guess they were fucking with them. They were prospecting.
Right.
And the main dude said, "Man, I could really use something cold right now."
Oh God.
Right?
Right.
And it was a little snowy mountain. So everybody thought that he wanted snow from that mountain, dog, or any kind of snow, right? Yeah. So this fool right away ran, dog. And then the old man, he drove his motorcycle to a general store, came back with fucking ice and ice cream for him.
Yeah.
And everybody laughed, dog. Everybody laughed.
Yeah.
Because that fucking old man, he really wanted to be a biker.
Right.
The fool went over there trying to get that snow.
Yeah.
That ice from that mountain.
Right.
And that fool went to a general store.
The old man took the path of least resistance. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah.
And everybody laughed.
Because you're their bitch from that time.
And he was back faster, bro.
The purpose of them taking your bike? It's so that if you get arrested, the cops can't take the bike from you. And they can't use your bike as evidence. The club owns
if you made it.
Well, no matter what, you have to sign your bike over when you start prospecting. I think it is maybe in some clubs,
So
maybe
you keep
some
your bike.
Clubs, And yeah, and it's in order to the purpose is to make sure that if you get arrested, that the cops can't keep your bike because it's not your property. But I think also the repercussions of leaving the
How about
gang
when a
or
woman?
the club is that they keep your bike.
How about when a woman has a jacket that says "property of Butch Escobar"?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that if you fuck with if you're one, the club members aren't supposed to fuck with her without my permission. Two, if somebody else fucks with her, even if it's if it's permissive or whatever, that dude's gonna get fucking the shit beat out of him
Even if you're a member,
by principle, bro. Oh, if he's a member and he did it without my
spite.
permission,
They politicking.
I think it's like it comes from either like I gotta fight that dude or he gets banned or something like that. Any of those like, and again, these are all rules that are different in each club, but are regarded as well. That they're like definitely like there's a rule almost in every rule book I think from what I read, or at least the rule books that I read that addresses the old lady situation.
When I was watching Gangland and they were showing the motorcycle clubs,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of them, right? And there was a motorcycle club where the what you call it, one of the dudes yelled out, "Everybody get naked!" And there was a dude with a leather jacket, and he was fucking some chick by the fucking pinball machine, bro. Inside the club.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever performed at a motorcycle club?
No, but I know that Willie Barcena and Rodrigo Chor, they went into a club.
Yeah, we in the Bay there's a few clubs that let us do shows there, and my God, it's really interesting when it's all dudes in that place and they start partying afterward.
Because I saw a documentary once, and it was a documentary about African American female biker club, and she was talking about how all their bikes are Harley Davidson, and she said you gotta have a Harley Davidson to join their club. But she was saying that there's a lot of clubs with people of color where they just have a souped up Honda, and it's accepted in some clubs. In that people of colors.
I don't know much about. I know a couple of clubs. Like I know there's the.
I've seen a lot of clubs with fixed up Hondas that look like shovel heads, that look like regular motorcycles.
Right. I know
that's their thing, right?
I know that there's black MCs that will have like you had a guy that has a Harley.
Yeah, some of them have
Harleys.
Harleys.
That's his mandatory Harley, but he also has like a rice rocket on the side or like a souped up Honda. Like because there's a little more style on that end. We have one club in Oakland, the Dragons, and I only see them on Harleys.
I've seen but I'm just saying that they prefer sometimes Hondas over the Harley Davidson, and they
oh yes,
that's their shit.
The Honda bike.
Yeah, and it's a regular biker, right?
Well, there's
but a Honda one, the good ones from the old days.
I think that's up to the rules of that particular club.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So like Hell's Angels used to be able to have you were either able to have a Norton or
I love Nortons. Nortons are the British bicycles.
I love Nortons, bro.
Because there's also the Indian, right?
The Indians were another one.
And the Norton
is
the British bike, huh?
Right.
And there's another
Norton's
one.
British bikes,
and there's another one, American bike that's unknown. There's
Um,
Harley Davidson. There's the Norton from British, and Triumph.
Yes, Triumph. How could I forget Triumphs? Yeah, totally.
I asked a biker one time. He goes, because he had wearing he told me, I saw this beautiful Indian bike I wanted to get. It was green, bro. And he goes, yeah, you should get yourself a Harley, because if you drive around with a Harley, you'll pick up a chick faster than with an Indian.
Yeah, totally. I think Indians are for like old dudes. Like I remember when I was riding, I wanted a Harley. I didn't want an Indian. I felt like if I got an Indian, I would be like 70, living out my last days of freedom.
How come like later on in bike culture it became silly to make fun of bikers in movies, huh? Like I know in Clint Eastwood there was a spiders. He beat them all up. He threw tar all over them. Police Academy.
What's the one mob movie where he goes where the bikers are fucking up the bar? Bronx Tale.
Yeah, the Bronx Tale,
he
bro.
He goes, I asked you to leave, and now you can't.
They were breaking up bars all over the city, but this time it was their last one.
So in Oakland, they're called the East Bay Dragons. I think I call them the Black Dragons, but they're the East Bay Dragons.
They're the closest they are. They're tied with the Hells Angel. Those guys, right?
I'm pretty sure they are because like our
Yeah, I read
areas-
about it that they are.
I pulled off of one of the clubs, or some of the clubs that have similar patches.
But they have these are not these are the patches that they give each other for awards, like they do like in a Cub Scout, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So like in the Cub Scouts, if you have a patch for like
China Dot.
then you get that one.
Starting
or
a fire.
Starting a fire. These boys have their own patches, and some of them are like participating in group sex.
Ooh, I deserve a patch.
And then some of them are specific type of women, like performing oral sex on a white woman, performing oral sex on a black woman.
I'm a general.
Performing oral sex on and each one of those has their own color and distinction. But yesterday you were talking about one particular patch, and there's a patch for this one. It's usually purple. Do you remember what we were?
Necrophiliac.
I thought you were, dude. When you said that, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I said there's a patch for having sex with a dead woman.
I was all, that sounds fucking ridiculous. Nobody would ever do that. And yes, there's a patch for that. But you know what else?
How does a biker gang even know where to find a cold woman like that?
I have so many things in my mind I don't want to say right now.
I mean, even if you're there with that when that's happening,
right?
You're like,
hold on, I need to get my patch, guys.
do we have actually? Was that actually a thing?
Yes.
Was that actually a thing?
Well, you want to know what else they have a patch for? And I should have let in with this one first. They have a patch for eating out a fucked up like herpes or a woman with like crabs or venereal diseases.
Man, you're drinking alone after that.
I'm definitely not sharing my beer with you. Like, I'm definitely not going to shake hands until you wash your hands.
When these guys get initiated, do they really put a bucket of piss and oil and dump it on people's head?
Yes. I don't know if it's piss, but I know that they do it with motor oil and beer.
And they don't get all the patches all at once, huh?
No. Okay. So let's say you join let's say I want to join the Felipes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very hard club to join,
It's
bro.
a very hard, very difficult. Let me tell you guys.
Okay? I gotta check your background.
Right.
I gotta know your social security number.
Right.
I gotta at least know what your dad and your grandfather did.
So.
And you have make sure that nobody.
I need to talk to your girlfriend. So let's say I join the Felipes, or I want to join the Felipes. I become a prospect, and at that point, I have a sponsor that's already a Felipe. Like let's say Rodrigo's a senior member in the Felipes, so he's my sponsor. Hey, I want Butch to be in the Felipes.
He's assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Right. So So I start out and it says prospect underneath. With like maybe the top rocker, it says Felipes and prospect underneath, and then nothing in the middle.
But it say prospect on the bottom by itself first, right?
Right. It'll just say prospect, maybe nothing on top, and then a patch in the front that says the Felipes, so that people know that I'm prospecting for the Felipes. But that's about it. Then you start to gain patches. You get the city, maybe, or the top rocker, and they're all called rockers. And then you have your center rocker, which is like
you get that at the end, huh?
Right, like if you were going to talk about like the Hells Angels, it's the Death Head, or
you get to at the end though.
It's that big piece in the middle.
But you get at the end.
That's your final, bro. That's when you win, and everybody they pour oil on you, and they rough you up, and you have a good time, and you drink all night.
Don't they try to snag that patch away from you, and you got to fight for it?
Sometimes they'll do that. But I think that's when you're challenged, like already being challenged. They don't do that on purpose. It's not like a street gang where you get jumped in. There's really no hostility towards you.
How about in a movie where they said you're going to go kill someone random? That's bullshit. Huh?
That's bullshit, dude. That's such bullshit. And in the groups that
and they do that. They do that for regular gangs too, dog.
In prison gangs, that's a very mandatory thing. When we're talking,
but of course, you know,
right? But when you got to remember these are like they're somewhat in a way civilized. They understand rule of law.
This in barbarian days.
Some of these guys are very barbaric, but they're lawyers as well. A lot of these guys know law very well. So they know what they're allowed to do. They know what they're allowed to talk about. They know how to talk to each other. So there's no fucking go kill someone shit sometimes. I remember when I worked in the bar.
I see them. I see a lot of prospects. Like you say, you went to the bar.
Right.
I see a lot of prospects outside hanging out by the motorcycle, not even inside.
Yeah, because they're like watching the bikes. Because sometimes if me and you roll up and you're the head of the Felipes, and we're gonna go get drinks together with Rodrigo. Hey, me and Rodrigo are going in to have drinks. Watch the bikes. Or what you might do is come in, get us drinks, and then
What would
go
happen
watch the bikes.
if I'm walking in and I'm the head of the Felipes,
Right.
and there's like 5 prospects holding the bikes, and I'm just gently coming in, and somebody like just normally passes by and goes, "Man, you're a stupid motherfucker with that hat, with that fucking
Go
vest."
fuck that fool up.
And I don't even say nothing, huh?
Right. No, but you will be expected to go do that as well. Like, there's no fuck. You're not.
Do I
any
give him
better
a
than
chance first, or I gotta fuck him up in front of
No,
the
you guys go
prospects?
fuck that fool up right now.
So he mandatory cheap shot. How we're gonna leave this club now, huh?
mandatory, all of you guys go fuck that fool up because he did it to all of you. He disrespected all of you. You know, and
Because I was at a bar one time, and I was at a bar one time, and there was a girl there who was heckling other comedians,
right.
and then I started like bagging on her, right? But I knew who was there. I knew there was a gang there, and I bagged on her in a small way, and then the dudes would bag on me, but I let it go, right? I would let it go,
Right.
and then just keep roasting her whore ass. So then I got off the stage, and this black comedian went up on stage. So he started roasting her, funnier than me, but more rude,
Right.
and funny. And then he started roasting those dudes too, but they couldn't take it, right? Because they were too funny. Then I goes, "Man, fuck you, motherfucker," right? And they started yelling out the M word, not the N word, the M word, the one that rhymes with cacahuate, and that dude said, "Fuck you, man, we'll fuck your ass up." And then there's other black dude that's a regular there, and he's like, he's big time too, but he's not a biker, he's not a gang member, he's just known in the area as that dude. That fool got up and said, "Man, I got your back, homie. Go fuck all that." And then that fool said, "All right, fool." Dog. When that fool said, "All right, dude," within 5 minutes, bro, it was full of that dude's gang. And then that dude in the fucking that dude that fool said, "I got your back," didn't even fucking flinch either, bro.
Oh,
that
no.
fool he goes, "Yeah, man, there's like 10 of those stupid motherfucking Felipes out here and shit.
Oh, wow.
Trying to start shit and shit in a comedy show." And that fool hung up. And then that more of his fool showed up too.
Force shows up.
A force of that fool showed up.
Bro.
And then it was like squashed after that. But after that, more Felipes were showing up.
Yeah, wow.
More. And then it finally became a Felipe's comedy bar show. Where some of the Felipes wanted to go up on stage.
In my mind, there's all these big long-haired dudes just rolling up on motorcycles.
It was like that, dog.
That's fucking hilarious.
And they were. I remember, dog, one of those bikers were there, and this is when I was down on my luck. I didn't give a fuck no more, and I knew if I go to this guy, because I used to make fun of this guy all the time, because it got to the point where I started making fun of the bikers that were there in a fun way, and they loved it because I wasn't rude. I didn't call you a pussy. I didn't call you gay words. I just made fun of more like your personality and what I know what you do. And I said, "Watch out for this guy, man. This food name is also, but man, they should call their food tow truck, eh? Cause he be picking up some nasty ass chicks, and now his homeboys he be picking up anything and shit. And everybody laughing up. And that fool showed up with five biker chick with big old titties, dog.
Wow.
And he goes, "Hey, tell them what you call me. Tow truck." And they're all laughing in front of these two chicks. And they don't know what they're fucking talking about. They're making fun of those chicks now.
Right, yeah, that's hilarious. Oh my God, bro, that's hilarious, dude.
Anyways, yeah, man, we ended up being their friends, bro, after that. Like, they're friends, bro. They're friends, bro. Because I remember one time one of their friends was murdered, and three older men came in to the show, and they started talking to me and Darren Carter, a comedian. And Darren Carter's father is a Hell's Angel, his real father. He
Oh,
found out
really?
later on, and so I started fucking with him. And he said, "Yeah, man, a friend of ours was killed, and he would always talk about the comedy show. So we're right here in his honor
Oh,
to
wow.
watch the show, right?
Right.
And dog, I'm getting the chills, dog.
That's crazy.
Because there was so
yeah.
much respect for that lost homie,
Right.
and what he loved that when all those fools left and rode away into the sunset, they left a prospect behind.
Right.
He goes, he's gonna watch you guys.
In their proxy.
Bro, I wanted to cry, dog. I was like, oh man.
Damn. You know what it is, man, and I'll tell you why.
I felt so good, dog.
Right, yeah.
That we made that one guy happy and he left the homie behind.
That's so dope, yeah. I think there's a camaraderie. These dudes put themselves before their...
Like, I never had that much love.
I read this... So I watched this documentary about these soldiers during the Afghanistan war, and I don't remember this guy's name, but he's a reporter. He died. He's a famous combat journalist. And he said, I've never seen people love each other the way that men in combat love each other. Like, it's not a gay love, it's not a weird love, but I've also never seen someone come home to their child and love their child the way that these men love each other. And he said it's because they have nothing else while they're out there. They have nothing. That's it. They're just stuck with themselves, and tomorrow you could be dead. So it's in our nature to love as much as possible, so you give that love to your brother.
So that's why, man, like in hard time, whether you're in the gangs in New York, you know, in the beginning of time, or the 1939 over there in Boyle Heights, White Fence, you know, the gangs in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that people like to have a crew.
It's love.
They like to commemorate. I mean, the police have a crew.
Right.
Fucking firemen get to hang out together after work,
We have a
five
crew.
deep. Why don't we get to hang out, man? And that's what really gangs are, man. Just a place to come on and hang around. I'm pretty sure the Elks Lodge is a big gang, right? Freemasons. I'm pretty sure if a bunch of Freemasons are hanging out and they see fucking an Elks Lodge member jumping on a Freemason,
Right.
all those Freemasons are gonna come back and fuck them up with their compasses.
God, I would love to see that.
But that's another story, bro, about coats.
Yes.
Coats, which is different from gangs.
Right.
Thank you for listening to the History for Fools Gang Edition. We're going to move it up later on and talk about the holidays. You had fun, bro?
I had fun.
We're going to do a wrap-up later on when we start reading these comments.
Yeah, we're going to do the comments, and we'll come back with you guys on this subject. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Hell yeah.